Welcome to episode 213 of OTD, your daily dose of soccer history by 17 Lost Guy. It's June 1st, 1978. Buenos Aires, Estadio Monumental. The World Cup begins, and it begins with a match that ought not be dull. West Germany against Poland, the defending world champions against the team that finished third in 1974. West Germany had also been runners-up at Euro 1976, and Poland had been silver medalists at the 1976 Montreal Olympics. On one side, Sepp Maier, Vogts, Rainer Bonhof, Rummenigge, Fischer, Dieter Müller, the remains of Helmut Schön's great Mannschaft. On the other, Tomaszewski, Smuda, Deyna, Lato, Szarmach, Lubanski, and a young Zbigniew Boniek, one of the great state-supported amateur football powers of the Eastern Bloc. And the score? 0-0. Another World Cup opener with no goals. The curse continues. But how did we get here? For a long time, the World Cup didn't really have an opening match in the modern sense. In 1930, France beat Mexico 4-1, but the United States beat Belgium 3-0 at the same time. So which one is the opener? Chronologically, both. In 1934, 8 matches kicked off simultaneously. Italy beat the United States 7-1. Spain beat Brazil, Austria beat France, Hungary beat Egypt, and so on. We talked about these in episode 208 just 5 days ago. It was not a curtain raiser. It was a tournament explosion. In 1954, 4 matches kicked off together. In 1962, again 4 matches. The idea of one opening game, a symbolic launch, watched by the world, was still forming. But gradually, the ceremony and the single fixture begin to matter. In 1966, England hosts Uruguay at Wembley. The ceremony is modest. Schoolchildren, flags, kids, national delegations. And then the game starts. England 0, Uruguay 0. The host nation's World Cup begins not with a roar, but with a shrug. And yet England go on to win the tournament. Uruguay also advanced from the group and reached the quarterfinals. So the opener tells us something, but not everything. In 1970, Mexico hosts the Soviet Union at the Azteca. Again, 0-0. But the match is historically loaded. It gives us the first non-injury substitution in World Cup history, when Anatoly Pusak comes on for the Soviet Union at halftime. And it also gives us the first World Cup yellow card era, with cards now visible to players, referees, and spectators. The opener is goalless, but football administration changes in real time. Both Mexico and the Soviet Union advance, and both lose in the quarterfinals. Then 1974, Brazil, as defending champions, open against Yugoslavia in Frankfurt. This is now the defending champion era. From 1974 through 2002, the holders are placed in the opening match. Brazil 0, Yugoslavia 0. That is 3 straight single showcase openers without a goal, 1966, 70 and 74. Brazil eventually finished 4th. Yugoslavia also reached the second round. And now 1978. Argentina is the host, but West Germany are the holders, so the champions open the tournament. And the match is politically framed before a ball is kicked. Argentina is under military dictatorship. The stadium ceremony is large, choreographed, and designed to project order, spectacle, and national pride. Then comes the football. West Germany against Poland. And for all the talent, the match becomes another tactical stalemate. The Germans are champions, but in transition. Beckenbauer is gone. Gerd Müller is gone. Breitner is absent. Schön is nearing the end. Poland are technically superb, physically mature, and confident enough not to be intimidated by the badge. But no one breaks through. 0-0. 4 straight goalless World Cup opening matches, 66, 70, 74, and 78. That is why it's called the curse of the opener. And again, the result doesn't kill either team. Poland topped the group. West Germany finished second. Both reached the second phase, but neither reaches the final. Poland fade in Argentina's group, and West Germany go out after one of the great shocks of German football history, the 3-2 defeat to Austria in Cordoba. Yes, there'll be an OTD episode on that one. For Helmut Schön, the long national team era ends. He was assistant coach from 1956 to 64, and then a very successful head coach from 1964 to 78. But so what? The irony is that the World Cup opener eventually becomes the exact opposite of those dry, cautious matches. It becomes theater. Way back in episode 34, we talked about how the World Cup draw grew from administrative ritual into global entertainment. Balls, bowls, television, celebrities, storylines, and spectacle. The opener follows the same path. In 1982, the curse finally cracks. At Camp Nou, defending champions Argentina lose 1-0 to Belgium. Erwin Vandenberg scores. The World Cup has a proper single opener goal again. In 1986, Italy draw 1-1 with Bulgaria at the Azteca. Alessandro Altobelli scores. Lasko Sirakov equalizes late. The opener is no classic, but at least it breathes. In 1990, the opener becomes a shock. Argentina, defending champions, lose 1-0 to Cameroon at San Siro. François Omambiik scores with a header. Cameroon finished with 9 men. The image of Benjamin Massing cutting down Claudio Caniggia becomes part of World Cup memory. In 1994, the United States gives us full ceremony culture. Oprah Winfrey, Diana Ross, Sunshine, Showbiz, and Diana Ross famously misses the stage penalty that was supposed to split the goal open. Then Germany beat Bolivia 1-0 at Soldier Field through Jürgen Klinsmann. In 1998, Brazil beat Scotland 2-1 in Saint-Denis. Cesar Sampaio scores the first goal of the tournament. John Collins equalizes from the spot, and Tom Boyd's own goal gives Brazil the win. In 2002, the opener becomes one of the World Cup's greatest shocks. France 0, Senegal 1. Papa Diop scores. The defending champions lose to a debutant from their former colonial sphere, and the symbolism is enormous. And then the format changes. After 2002, defending champions no longer qualify automatically, so from 2006 onward, the host nation opens the World Cup, and with that, the opener becomes bigger, louder, more branded, more choreographed. Germany 4, Costa Rica 2 in 2006. Lahm, Klose twice, Frings from distance, Banchope twice for Costa Rica, 6 goals. Still the wildest modern World Cup opener. South Africa 1, Mexico 1 in 2010. Vuvuzelas, Johannesburg, and Sifiwe Tshabalala smashing in one of the great opening goals. Rafael Marquez equalizes, but the tournament has its soundtrack. Brazil 3, Croatia 1 in 2014. Marcelo scores an own goal. Neymar drags Brazil back, and a controversial penalty helps the hosts survive the night. 2018, Russia 5, Saudi Arabia 0. The biggest margin in an opening match. Gasinski scores the first. Cheryshev shines, and Golovin finishes it. A host nation opener becomes a rout. 2022, Qatar 0, Ecuador 2. Enner Valencia scores twice, and Qatar becomes the first host nation to lose the opening match. That is the arc. From school children with flags and cautious nil-nils, to mass choreography, celebrity stages, political messaging, sponsors, social media, instant memes, and global watch parties. The opener is no longer just the first match. It is the tournament announcing what it wants to be. And next, in 2026, the opener goes back to Mexico City. Mexico against South Africa. The Azteca, now under its tournament naming conventions as Mexico City Stadium, will become the first stadium to stage 3 World Cup opening matches, 1970, 1986, and 2026. The setting could hardly be more symbolic. In 1970, Mexico and the Soviet Union gave us a goalless opener, but also the first substitution era. In 1986, Italy and Bulgaria gave us a draw. In 2026, with 48 teams, 3 host countries, 12 groups, and 104 matches, Mexico and South Africa will open the biggest World Cup ever. And maybe that is the final lesson of the opener. Sometimes it tells you the future, sometimes it lies. England drew 0-0 in 1966, yet won the World Cup. France lost in 2002 and collapsed. Cameroon shocked Argentina in 1990 and became a global story. Germany and Poland drew 0-0 in 1978 and both disappeared before the final. The opener is not a prediction, it's a doorway. Now 3 things to take away from June 1st, 1978. First, the World Cup opener was not born as a spectacle. It evolved from simultaneous kickoffs and modest ceremonies into a global ritual. Second, the goalless opener's curse was real. From 66 to 78, 4 straight showcase openers ended 0-0. And third, openers matter because they frame the tournament. They can bore us, shock us, seduce us, or mislead us, but they always tell us something about how football wants the world to look at it. On this day 1978, West Germany and Poland opened the World Cup with a star-studded 0-0 in Buenos Aires, the 4th straight goalless World Cup opener, and the last great example of a curse that football would eventually turn into spectacle. That is all for episode 213 of OTD, your daily dose of soccer history by 17 Laws Guy. I would be grateful if you would rate the show 5 stars so the algorithm can push it to more people. And of course, please share it. Also, I want to hear your comments and ideas. My email is otd@17lawsguy.com. Tomorrow, we go to June 2nd, 1886, and we'll answer your burning question: who is actually in charge of the 17 laws of the game? And how did that come about? See you then.